Hey there, welcome. Today I want to talk about the issues with pragmatism in spirituality. Um, a while ago I talked about our problems with like scientific words and vocabulary and perspectives in spirituality, mostly in the standpoint of, you hear spiritual people talk about quantum mechanics or talk about the Big Bang, but they're not trained in this. They don't know anything about this. They're not experts in this, and so they're kind of just using these words as flashcards to draw people in. And I think this is problematic in terms of clarity and truth and authenticity, and really getting at the core of what spirituality and thus non-duality is. And I fall for this one a lot. It's pragmatism, practicality. What's the purpose? Like, what's the use of God, non-duality, understanding infinity, meditating, yoga, whatever spiritual, lens or practice or lineage we are looking at. Sometimes we can get a little too focused on what it does for us on a practical level. Is it gonna help me be happy? Is it gonna help me be healthy? Is it gonna make me money? Is it gonna make life easier? Am I gonna be able to interact with people better and have more company and affection and popularity? So many different avenues of pragmatism and practicality that we are attached to, and we want the spiritual discipline, we want the lineage, we want the readings, we want the writings, the talks, yada yada. We want them to benefit us in this way. There's no shame or anything. This is normal. This is like, duh, we're selfish, sentient beings that are trying to make our lives better. That's one of our intentions going into spirituality a lot of the times. And so we question the validity of these things on the level of pragmatism, on the level of practicality, and on our practicality, on our life, what will impact us in a way that we agree with or we value. But the issue is that this kind of, discounts one of the main points of spirituality, of non-duality. In a lot of lineages, it's communicated how much effort and discipline we need, how much detachment and discernment we need. In karma bhakti style yoga, there's a lot about what we give to the world selflessly, without a reward, without a benefit. How much we love and surrender without getting what we want, without having a desire be met. The path of desirelessness is also very communicated in these spiritual paths. So our attachment to pragmatism in some form is a limitation, it's a bias, it's a judgment that doesn't really look at reality clearly, and it can make it so a few different things happen. One, since we're not looking at reality clearly, we're just trying to get a desire met. Maybe we don't see the truth when it's delivered, whether it's something Ramana Maharishi says, whether it's something a guru or lineage holder does or acts like, whether it's a type of practice that's ubiquitous but we don't like it, so we resist it. These can be issues for actually attaining that thing we're looking for, that bliss, the thing pragmatism is trying to create, which is some level of happiness or goodness or ease. We actually miss out on the greatest, most true version if we ignore things that we deem non-practical, non-pragmatic, at least fully. We can't pay attention to everything, every practice, every lineage, but if we let go of pragmatism, we have a higher probability of letting in something that may be true, but maybe we don't like it because it's not practical or because it's not fitting our sense of purpose and desire. And additionally, this attachment to pragmatism creates different teachings, myself included. Like I will try to explain yoga and non-duality and faith and God and love in ways that are practical and going to help someone's life directly. It's going to help you be healthy. It's going to help you be happier. It's going to help you, not react to conflict. It's going to help you cooperate with others. It's going to help you build community and thus sustain your life in a way that you'd like it easier. I come up with all these reasons that are pragmatic, but it's beyond this, and it always will be. It can include pragmatism to an almost infinite, no, literally an infinite degree, but it can also reject pragmatism to an infinite degree, because the true, boundless, limitless reality that is ourself, is our view, is our awareness, and everything we have come to know, it doesn't really care at essence if we make money, or if we are a little happier or a little more comfortable, or we have productive lives necessarily. It cares only in the sense that we care and we're part of it and we are it, but to really dive into truth and let truth flow and blossom from our core, it might be impractical sometimes. It might, impact our health in ways we don't like. It might impact our relationships and our livelihood in ways we don't like. It's not guaranteed to do any of this. And it might surprise us and do the opposite, but we can't resist the truth and love of God and infinity and a presence just because there's an off chance that it doesn't work well with our societally conditioned lifestyle. And there's no point in teaching that all the time either. There's no point in trying to baby the population into spiritual understanding by adhering to their pragmatic desires and biases. Because when we do this, we dilute the teaching. We offer the teaching with a fear that other people aren't going to get it, or agreed to get their attention, because otherwise we wouldn't need to give it in this pragmatic way necessarily. Not that you never do. It's not like evil to share some possible pragmatic, possibilities, but to be unclear and untransparent about. But the opposite could happen. You could get paralyzed from the waist down like Ram Dass. That's life. That's infinity. Infinite possibilities. Are you able to love and be aware throughout any sort of occurrence? Are you able to take responsibility for both the things that we caused with our own habits, with our own suffering creating patterns that we're attached to, and take responsibility for being part of an infinite thing that we don't get to control from an anthropocentric perspective? If you want the fruits of infinity, which is what spirituality is in essence, of non-duality, of oneness, then we have to deal with, anything. Because otherwise it'd be finite, and then it's not what we're looking for. It's not the actual thing we want. And another reason we shouldn't teach in this way, like I said, myself included, is that people are going to be doing it for the wrong reason now. They're going to be practicing yoga because it can make them fit. And they're going to be practicing meditation because it's going to make them calm at work. And then they can continue their work, which might be bad, might be supporting suffering to a high degree. They can make money now, so they feel comfortable and secure. So this is why they, engage with it. And there's something to be said about getting to the right place with the wrong reasons, the ends justify the means sort of deal. There is something to be embraced about that. I do accept this, but I think that's mostly in hindsight. It's mostly okay, I had the wrong intentions, but I'm here now and it's good, and I can transform those intentions to something that is more coherent with honesty and love and boundless awareness. But if we know, like I do now, that we don't need these spiritual patterns to be pragmatic, we don't need them to be purposeful for our specific life, for them to be true and for them to be practiced, then why would we? I don't need to be afraid that someone's not going to like that it doesn't sound pragmatic or rational. I don't need to be greedy for somebody's attention and following, and other people don't need to get on the path right away with those intentions. They can also work through it in their own way. So this is a short video. It's just a note. It's also like a self-reminder. A lot of these videos are, as I meditate and I become aware of these things, I like to talk about them because they're most likely occurring in other people too. I see them in Sadhguru and Eckhart Tolle and like some of the big spiritual heads of the world. They're always talking about pragmatic, practical reasonings for spiritual endeavor, but it's kind of incorrect in essence. And so there's a chance that we actually can adhere to the teachings more earnestly if we bypass that false limiting intention at the gate. So thank you so much for watching. Om Sai Ram.